it was literally a person we didn't even know who he was. We just trusted to go to this person's basement and lie there. And the whole day I was having a panic attack because of the sugar withdrawal. Like not even about anything else. It's just sugar withdrawal was real. And I was having a massive headache. And I remember just like lying there after the first sip. And just like looking around the whole room and like just being wary of like where everything was, just in case this was like a crazy, who knows, like, because we didn't know I knew you,
the crazy
but like
sexton.
I didn't, and I was like, I need to take care of Pam and Jeff if something happens.
That's so funny. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I can't let my friends die. Hello, everyone. I'm Pammy from the Psychedelic Sisterhood, and I'm joined here with my friend Soo Jae. She has been in my life for a long time. I actually haven't spoken to her in years, or since the other day. But somehow, anytime we're separated and we come back together, it's like we left off where we pick up where we left off. And she's such a good friend of mine, and I love her to death, and I thought this podcast would be something perfect for her to be on. So welcome, Soo Jae.
Oh, thank you, Pammy.
Soo Jae is you're in Portland now, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, just moved a few years ago from New York. How many years ago did you move?
It's already 2 years, and I'm like, wow, that feels really far, but yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because we used to work together, and just happenstance that we used to work together. We both were
right next to each other.
Yes, literally our computer screens this close together. It was funny because in 2015 I had my first psychedelic experience, and then in 2016 in the fall, the anniversary of that experience was coming up, and randomly Soo Jae popped into my life, and we just started talking about everything: metaphysical stuff, spiritual stuff, crystals, healings, tarot, energy healing, everything. And from there, we just kind of became really good friends. And then at some point, I turned to her and said, "Hey, do you want to do ayahuasca?" and tell
and I was like, yes.
And I was shocked because I thought, Soo Jae was going to be like, what's that? I don't understand. And I don't know, like everyone else. But no, Soo Jae was completely in the know, unbeknownst to each other. We were all both like deep into studying ayahuasca and wanting to, have an experience. And so yeah, I think yes, at some point we found a place, and we decided to have our first experience together, or Soo Jae's first experience. We had it together, and I'm so grateful that you felt comfortable and wanted me to be with you in that time. It's such a vulnerable space. My gosh.
I mean, for me, I've been wanting to do ayahuasca forever, and the fact that at work, out of all places, like you just turned around and it's just like, you want to do it? I was like, I just felt like I hit a lotto. Like I didn't need to go to Peru. It was like right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I remember being so dramatic too, because it was like literally Wednesday and the ceremony was like Saturday
it was
or
that
Friday.
Weekend. That's right. It was such short notice. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And like, I remember I had to quit sugar, coffee, like all these things, and I was going through sugar withdrawal. It was intense.
Oh my god! And that was so difficult because, like, for our job, it was so fast paced, and we just had to do a lot of things in a small amount of time. So, like, coffee was like, your ally. So to have to stop drinking coffee all of a sudden.
We're so far from the vibration of healing. Like it was just like rolling. Yeah.
So
Crazy.
tell me how I would like to know how you
Mm.
started your journey into ayahuasca, like even before you've taken it, even before I was like, hey, even before then, your
Well,
research and
I think the first time I heard about ayahuasca was, I think, back when I was more like in my early 20s.
Mhm.
And one of my really close friends, she loves traveling. And she basically was like, she wants to go to Amazon jungle and she's going to drink this thing and like throw up and lose like 20 pounds. I mean, that's what she was talking about. She wasn't thinking about spiritual things. She was like,
She's like,
she wanted to
and
lose
those
weight.
20
And
pounds.
like, yeah. And I was just like, well, I was like, that's crazy. And she's like, well, you get this spiritual awakening and all that stuff. And I
Mm,
just thought that was like such a crazy thing. But that was like registered. Inception has happened. And
mm,
um yeah, and then slowly I started about like reading about it, hearing about it. And it just, I'm always into an experience that's going to like wake me up. I
mm.
think I've always really wanted that. So, yeah. And especially because I think during the time that I met you at work, like I was really unhappy with my life,
Mm.
was not, I mean, I don't think anyone was happy to be honest, but like it's just
No,
like, yeah, at that pace just does not make any sense to me. Like, what is the purpose of life?
you're constantly
Why?
anxious all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
then you think
Yep.
you're done with the task, and all of a sudden you hear your
Mm-hmm.
name being yelled from across the room.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, what did I
Yeah.
do?
Panic attack. Panic all the
Constantly,
time, constant.
constantly.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
the vibration definitely wasn't working there. Um,
No.
yeah, and then I also, yeah, you're saying that you weren't really happy, and I remember when we were talking, I think we were both in the mindset of a
Mm.
transition. Um,
Mm.
and because I had taken ayahuasca a year beforehand, and I didn't actually properly integrate, I was kind of really having a
Mm.
tough time, like
Mm.
emotionally and
Yeah.
mentally. I was just like, and I didn't want to be at that job, but as all jobs go,
Mm.
well, not all jobs, but most jobs, 9 to 5 corporate
Mm.
gigs, it's
Mm.
like makes me money no matter what I
Yeah.
do. And I want to keep making money because I want to afford
Yeah.
rent. I want to be able to go out when I
Yeah.
want. I want to eat what I want. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that mindset kind of soothes that like inner beast of wanting to
Mm.
consume
Mm.
versus being having a life that's more sustainable. And I think that's something
Yeah.
that you expressed to me, wanting to transition into a more sustainable life and
Mm-hmm.
wanting to like I don't know, kind of just like not reuse things, but like, kind of like
Mm.
upcycle. That's what I want to say. Upcycle
Yeah.
things and stuff like that. Can you talk about some of your experience with wanting to be more sustainable?
Um, I guess I guess that's the freedom. I mean, I wanted to live this life
Mm-hmm.
to start because I wanted to be free. Because I didn't want to be
Mm-hmm.
like slave to this work that I hated. And
Yeah.
I just did not want to be in that energy. It was just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that and also I think during that time, like I was learning about a lot of holistic things, and I was learning about how the power of your mind is so strong. You can manifest anything. And I think that was like a big thing with, my partner Jeff and I. We wanted to like create our own like reality instead
Mm-hmm.
of being dragged and like, pulled into this like wheel,
Yeah. Yeah.
of
Yeah.
someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we made the move, because we kept on like telling other people, you need to like, create your own vibration and all that stuff. And we like we want to like live what we, believed and see how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, if you leave the corporate world, basically you don't really have the money. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
the luxury of the money.
Mm-hmm.
So I think definitely down because you're not working, right? So just pace of your life slows down and end up doing all the things that you normally would not do, like washing your clothes or like, have someone in your house, like, do a takeout. So like all these things that you are supposed to do as a human being on a daily basis, you're not really doing that. So like you're not really in tune or touch with yourself. It's weird. I feel like by living like, living tiny, we need to like, there's a lot of things that we need to take care of, but we also have a lot of time. So I feel like we're definitely like being more connected to like being a human. And like obviously like, Mother Nature too, because you really need to be like aware of like weather situations and all that stuff. So, and if you grow your food, obviously even more. So
and that connection to earth as well, just connecting to your food, as far as you're planting the seed, you're watching it grow, you're cultivating it, your hands are in the soil, all of your energy goes into that food that's being produced. Like it's like a perfect cycle. You're creating it, you're eating it, and you're creating it again, you're eating it, maybe using poop to fertilize. I don't know, I'm not asking those questions, but but
it's almost like I couldn't imagine in my head when I used to live in Manhattan, like how was I gonna make this work? I thought I was gonna come here and like, I don't know, like start some kind of business or something, and or like work for someone. I don't know, like I just couldn't really understand it. But the longer I am living in my truth, I'm understanding that you have everything you need. You don't need a whole lot. It's you need to like, I guess it's a lifestyle change that happens, and it's not easy thing to do, but it's very rewarding and it's very healing. I think at the end of the day, for me, this is truly healing.
Being closer to the earth, yeah, for sure.
Closer to the earth, yeah.
For sure. I think we have some interference from me being closer to the earth. So at some point, we'll cut out just a little bit.
No.
But no, it's okay. But I wonder if it's gonna record. I've been hearing your audio pretty much okay, but the video was just like froze.
Oh yeah, it's real. It's for real.
How is your Wi-Fi out there?
It's terrible. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe we don't. Yeah, but it works. And you really appreciate like you really appreciate like that I speak. But I think I'm okay. It's doable.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And then also like who wants to be connected that much as well? I feel like, the more we're connected, the more we connect, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, if it's kind of like that thing of turning off your cell phone. Like if you turn off your cell phone, you won't stare at it looking for a new message or just aimlessly swiping through your Instagram or something like that,
Yeah.
Okay. And we're back. So okay, let's circle back to what we were saying about sustainability and what we were chatting about before. You were saying something, but I couldn't follow.
I don't know. I think when you first asked me to do the talk, I was like, oh, I need to talk about like this tiny life. That's what I thought the talk was about. The purpose of the talk was about. But I think that I mean, sustainability is definitely something that has happened to me because I wanted to get out of that whole circle.
For the freedom,
and the freedom, and by doing it I feel really healed. There's something special about being in tune with like everything that I have to be very aware of my water usage, my electricity, like you're just being more in tune and just grounding myself to all the things that is happening, versus I feel like when I was living in Manhattan, I was so disconnected to everything.
Yeah, you get so used to wasting so much. Yeah. Every time you need something, it's like, oh, I'll just buy it from Amazon.
Just buy it.
No. Or go to the store that's right around the corner and buy it, because the stores are everywhere. Like the consumerism is
Exactly.
rampant in
Yes.
New York City.
Exactly. So.
Oh my gosh. But do you want to circle back and maybe talk about your first
Ayahuasca trip?
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
I guess my first ayahuasca trip, that trip, like, that was kind of crazy. Like, it was literally a person we didn't even know who he was. We just trusted to go to this person's basement and lie there. And I was having the whole day, I was having a panic attack because of the sugar withdrawal. Like, not even about anything else. It's just sugar withdrawal was real. And I was having a massive headache. And I remember just like lying there after the first sip, and just like looking around the whole room and like just being wary of like where everything was, just in case this was like a crazy, who knows, like, because we didn't know who. I knew you,
the crazy
but like
sexton.
I didn't, and I was like, I need to take care of Pam and Jeff if something happens.
That's so funny. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I can't let my friends
die. But you know what? Medicine, when it's time to come to your life, it comes in so many different ways. You can't judge it.
It does.
And it did phenomenal healing for me. So.
And even though it wasn't like a sketch space, it was still.
No, it wasn't.
It was just because we didn't know them, and then like partially through the intro, some other random people, like his friends, came, and they were just like, I don't know, it was weird. I don't know.
It's a big gamble. And drinking something, like, God knows what they're gonna do.
I know. But yeah, I was talking to someone about how ayahuasca is kind of like made here, because she was very like, I don't understand, but it's from the Amazon. I was like, yeah, well, if you get it here, you pretty much get like this kind of, you're able to like break it down into a liquid. And she's just like, that's insane, because you don't know dosage, you don't know how much you're giving people. Considering how it's made, like from the pot, the boiling in the pot. It's totally like a concentrated juice. So it's like it's hard to figure that out if you're not like, I guess, sciencey with it, I guess. I don't even know if there's a way to like measure that, but it's more so
you get exactly the dosage that you need. I believe so, because I believe the power of ayahuasca, mother.
And that's so true, because like I've consistently had the same. Oh, when we went to the other group in Brooklyn, that group, I consistently went to a bunch of those ceremonies, and I always had the same dosage, and it was consistent. It wasn't very consistent. Like some would be just feeling, other times it would be a full blown like visual experience. But it wasn't always the same, But yeah, you're totally right. You just have to put your trust in Mother Ayahuasca and trust that it will take you where you need to go,
Well, I think my first ayahuasca trip, like, maybe because I was like, I didn't prepare properly. I jumped into it so quickly, and I was already not feeling so good. So I didn't feel anything in my first cup. I was just lying there, just feeling very skeptical of the place. And then when he offered the second cup, I was like, yeah, I'll take it again.
You're like, I don't trust this. Of course I'll take another.
And then the second one, towards the end, I think that I was starting to see like little visuals, but I'm not even sure if it was from the cup or not, because I was just staring at an empty wall. I had my eyes closed, like, for almost the entire night. So I thought it was my imagination, whatever that came to my head. Because it wasn't like full blown visual. It was just like, I don't know, like a little pop, like pop of, visuals that I had. And I felt like I heard like a little boy laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Oh,
was
I
like,
remember you told me
did I hear that right? Like,
that.
yeah, I was like, I don't know what that's about. And so that was my ayahuasca trip. And
Mm-hmm.
I think my intention of going into that trip was, I basically was like, who am I?
Mm.
And why am I here? Basically, that was, what's my purpose in this life? Like, why
Mm-hmm.
am I here? Who am I? And yeah, so the visual that I got and the laugh that I heard, like it kind of didn't, I was like, what was that? But I was throwing up a lot, so I felt really cleansed. So
Mm-hmm.
that was like my first, I guess, ayahuasca trip experience.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. But I remember the next day we went to Central Park,
Mm-hmm.
and while we were discussing about our trip together, like trip, discussing it, like I realized that the boy laughter that I heard was
Mm-hmm.
actually my laughter.
Wow.
The
Okay.
message came to me that that was not someone else, that it was my laughter. And I remembered how, when I was a kid, I was I was a really happy child.
Mm-hmm.
And I just I guess it felt really good and healing to hear your own child child laugh,
Mm-hmm.
just to remember how you really were before
For
things went
life,
down
life
while
kicks
living
your ass.
3D life.
For
So
responsibilities.
yeah. And I
Wow.
also remember the next day when we were at the Central Park, you were talking about the visuals that you were having. And I was like, wait a minute, that was my visual. Like I was looking,
Oh, the little stickers.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh shit. So that wasn't my imagination. That was like something that came through and you osmosis into my psyche. And you were explaining it to me and I was
Yeah,
just so
yeah,
blown away.
yeah.
That was
But that wasn't
definitely
even
the
that wasn't the last time we had some sort of osmosis either. It was
No, the
really
second
weird.
time was even more amazing.
Oh my
That is
gosh.
very true.
So okay, well, I'll set up the second time, but before I set
Yeah.
it up, I would just like to mention that those
Mm,
stickers played a part
mm.
in my very most recent mushroom
Oh,
ceremony. Like I saw them for a second,
really?
and I thought of you, and I was like, "Oh, they're stickers." And I've never seen them at any other time
Uh,
except for that first
yeah,
ceremony session we had
yeah.
together, and then this
Whoa.
last time, and I was just like, "What is this?" And I don't know if it was subconscious or conscious, but then
Yeah.
I feel like I've been on your Instagram consistently since
Mm,
then.
interesting.
And then now you're so for those that you're watching, the crafts that she has
Mm.
behind her, she makes those. CJ makes those. And
And they're all stickers.
they're all cutesy little sticker things, and that kind of was what was popping up in my mind with these little cute little
Yeah,
icons, and I'm just like, what?
yeah,
And then I saw that on Instagram. I'm like, what?
yeah.
So it's it's all full circle.
Yeah, seriously, it's mind blowing. And I actually did not connect the dot myself until yesterday. I was
Mm-hmm.
talking about it and I just
Mm-hmm.
looked around and then realized that I had surrounded myself with all my stickers.
Yeah.
I just
Oh my gosh, it's
unbelievable.
hilarious. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, so okay, so to set up the second the second
Mm,
ceremony where the osmosis happened. I don't remember a
yeah.
lot of the ceremony. I don't remember the
Mm,
beginning or how it ended really. I just
mm,
remember it was me, you again, your partner,
mm,
Jeff, a
mm,
friend of mine, the guy from the
mm,
first ceremony that led the first,
mm,
and
mm,
a couple of other people. And
mm,
it's an amazing space. But I just remember it was the first time I felt like I could manipulate my own reality in this
mm,
space. And
mm,
it sounds so, I don't know how to explain it. It was like at some point I was laying there and I felt like I
mm,
was being, I guess, zapped by lasers, but not, it didn't hurt. It wasn't a feeling of lasers. It was just like, I don't know, I feel like a vibration running through my body. And it was like, oh, we're just checking your body, like an x-ray almost. Like, we're just checking your body for whatever, for illnesses or whatever. And I was like, oh, I think I'm good.
CAT scan.
Yeah, exactly. And then after that was over, I was like, well, I want to scan my body too. So I started scanning my body, and then I started seeing like this like dark masses in my stomach. And this is before I went vegan. So I was having terrible bloating issues and having all these digestive issues. So I was like, how do I get rid of this? So I'm like looking at, for whatever reason, I don't know why, my mind, and I think it was because I listened to an Aubrey Marcus podcast where he was helping his friend with his disease or something, and he was like scooping things out. So I was like, let me try that. So then I was doing it, and it was working. And as soon as I finished, I ran to the bathroom and had like immediate diarrhea. But I also think that was because I also didn't follow the diet 100% straight through. But that helped. But then the osmosis part was right after that. I was like, well, what else can I do? And then I saw you kind of hunched over trying to purge. And I was like, maybe I can help her out. And so I remember in my mind's eye, just concentrating on your body and being like, is there something she needs help with? And seeing like these dark masses in your lungs. And I was like, oh, let me help scoop that out. So I'm like scooping. And then I couldn't get it all out. And I remember thinking, well, shit, like I want to help my friend. Like, what the fuck? I scooped all mine out. And then as soon as I thought that, a voice was just like, well, you can only help people so much. They have to do the rest themselves. And as soon as that voice like popped in, you started purging. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, it was weird. It was like, we never talked to each other. We never discussed anything about it, but it was just like happening, like boom, boom, boom. It was just happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was amazing. And then after that, you said something like about your breath, how you would hold your breath or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think during that time, I was having a lot of breathing problems because I was holding on to my breath because like I think I like living in the middle of Manhattan, like I couldn't breathe. It just felt like I was suffocating. And you know, I also like to smoke a lot, so I think that was part of the problem. But I basically, the intention of that journey like was for me to heal. I wanted to physically heal. And I don't know if you remember, but I also did that combo.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because my dad was kind of sick too, and I didn't feel good, so I wanted to do like the real physical, mental, you know, all that healing. So it's really interesting that, you know, you osmosisly like came and like helped me like clean everything out. Yeah, the second trip too, I didn't really see any visuals. I think that like I was just laying there, and one of the ayahuasca trip was like a fun experience for me. It was like physically very torturous because you want to like shit and throw up all at the same time. And it just lasts forever. It's like 8 hours. Like I almost feel like 7-8 hours, right? All through the night.
It's pretty long, yeah.
Yeah, and I basically remember just trying to remember the things that like I love, and you know, my dog and my family, and so I was feeling like really loved. But and then like I guess before all that, you know, when I was feeling really, really bad, you know, and then I started to throw up, and you obviously feel a lot better, and you know, you really can feel the love. And yeah, that trip was mind blowing because the next day, once again, I think we went to Central Park, and you were telling me about it, and I was just blown away by how I got exactly what I needed. Like I got exactly what I asked for. I didn't have like this amazing trip, but you know, yeah, I got exactly what I wanted, which was the healing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Contentment. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That was the day I forgot how to be a person. Let me explain. I remember because after that, I was gonna go. Also, my friend was gonna go to IHOP. He's like, "I'm starving. I didn't eat since yesterday. I'm gonna go to IHOP." And I was like, "But I'm on this diet journey." I was like, I didn't want to tell him at the time that I didn't respect his answer, but but I was like, "All right, you go to IHOP," and then you were like with us, and that's when you introduced me to like super greens over soup. No, that was amazing. So good. It was the perfect thing I needed. Was the super greens in the soup. So good. But we went back to your place, me, you, and Jeff, and you're like, oh, you know what, you can shower if you like, blah blah blah. So I was like, all right, cool, that sounds like a good idea. So I took a shower, and I was just in such a daze. And then when I came out of the shower, I was just like, what do I do? What is this? And I was holding up my bra and being like, what is this? And why do I need this? Oh, I put it on like this. Like that was, I was like, I was reborn in that day. I was having when I was showering, it was like I was feeling the shower, like the feeling of the warm water for the first time. I was smelling that soap for the first time. I was putting on clothes for the first time. It was just, and I came out feeling so refreshed, so like new. It was bananas. I didn't really know how to express that. So I don't think I said anything when I came out of the shower. I was just like, be
no,
normal.
when you did come out, I do remember you saying that it was like this kind of like oh my God, I don't even know where I am, or I remember you saying that, but no, I didn't know that you didn't know how to be a human. Like you were like totally out of body experience
100%.
in the shower.
100%. It was like Pammy 2.0. I mean, Pammy 1.0 was gone. Pammy 2.0 walked in, and I was like, oh, I have to assimilate. You know what I mean? It was so
wow.
It was so bizarre. But it wasn't like I didn't know who I was. And I, I didn't feel alien at all. It was just like, it's almost like a baby, like, oh, this thing is soft, this thing is rough, this is a zipper, this is a button, you know what I mean? It was kind of like that, and some kind of way. After a few hours though, and a nap, I think, and some food, I think I came back into Pammy 1.0, but maybe 1.5. But
I always loved hearing your psychedelic experience. I'm like, wow, that must feel amazing. Like all these visuals they talk about, I'm like, those are, but that's not what I need. So I get exactly what I need.
Yeah, and that's what I love about ayahuasca is I feel like every person gets exactly what they need. There are several people I know that when they take it, they don't see any visuals, but they get like, they might like get feelings, like emotions, and then like they might see people in their life and just have a feeling of contentment or of love, like you're saying, feeling all love. That's just that's sometimes that's people's journey. That's the journey that you need, you know?
Yeah. Well, I actually do want to add, like, I think from my experience, I realized that when you don't get the answers right away, or like something right away from ayahuasca, it's because the journey hasn't ended. I think that there's more, more that needs to be added for it to come to a full circle, but it does come to a full circle from my experience. Everything is so purposeful. Like every single steps, I just, I'm truly amazed by this matrix of life, and and all the healing.
Beautiful.
So I think that we really need to respect this healing. It comes in so many different forms. And I think that is why it's so important that you're doing this channel, because all of our experience, how different it is, need to be shared. So thank you for allowing space like this.
Absolutely.
This is truly beautiful.
Thank you. And thank you for being a part of it. Honestly.
Yeah.
You were right there in the beginning of my journey. Seeing it come full circle.
You were right there. For me too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It truly is phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I told you, but a couple of days ago, I had a dream about you.
Really?
And yeah, I had a dream about you. And I don't dream often. So when I do dream, I know it means something. And the thing is, like, I don't even remember what the dream was about. I just remember, like, oh wow, I saw Pammy. That is so strange. And like a couple of days later is when you like text me to ask me if I wanted to be interviewed for my psychedelic experience. And I literally was like, I don't know if my psychedelic experience like mean anything. Like it's so boring, and like I don't know, I just felt like there was nothing to it. There's no reason to really share it, but now I'm just so blown away by how like all this was necessary for me to like, you know, talk about it and like come to a full conclusion yesterday, like looking around and realizing that this is exactly what I'm doing, and it's making me really happy. And like it's making me laugh, and I'm like, shit, this is like me just living my truth, and this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. So
exactly, trusting that process. Because I remember before you went out there, you were like wholeheartedly were explaining, I have to move out there. I can't tell you everything and all the details. I just know I need to trust the universe. And that's what you did. And
yeah, I know.
Trust in the universe.
Hard. I dove in so hard, and it's just there's so many stories. It's hard, but it's funny now that I'm looking back, and totally rewarding. So I don't know if there's anyone listening to this podcast, and can, if they're like thinking, should I not, like I say go for it. Like
go for it.
It's worth it.
Having
and
the thought. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it, and it's gonna work out. You know.
That's what I like to tell people. Just having that thought that you want to do it is already you're setting yourself up for, you know, the journey. That's part of the journey, you know.
We're so powerful, I think. Like everything that we're thinking of, where our intention goes, is exactly how our reality manifests itself. And I think the more we practice like doing this, like imagining and like just trusting the process and like just go with it, like I think that we will continuously be rewarded, and it's a different way of life. And I think that it's going to be I think this is how it becomes New Earth. I mean, to me, this is what it feels like to live in New Earth. You create your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just you wait. I'm going to be out there soon. We're going to create our own commune.
Do it.
Create a community.
Do it.
Oh my gosh.
You know, we need different kind of communities because we have all sorts of different kind of people. And girl, come out here. It's like you want to, and a lot of people who's like really understanding the spiritual awakening and healing that's happening. And I feel like there'll be a lot more people that you can talk to.
For sure. But, you know, for sure. I mean, the West Coast.
When the time comes.
Yeah. I feel like with the West Coast, it's always been much more open and kind of just, you know, just like they kind of like, I don't know how to call it, just like a style of living that's just so easygoing and like whatever happens. And New York is a place that's been slightly more, not necessarily more conservative, just less loosey-goosey about it. But yeah, I don't know, but
it's the pace.
It is.
It's too fast.
It's too much anxiety.
It's too fast. Yeah.
And that's another thing. Learning slow living here has been from the pandemic. I just been like taking my time doing things, and it just makes so much difference. It makes a world of a difference. It's so funny seeing everything happen full circle and seeing the stickers behind you. I can't stop looking at them.
It's pretty hilarious. You want to see some of the other things that I was making?
Yeah, let's see some.
So this is like, I make these first.
Very cute. You make them on the
They're
screen
all like,
first.
they're like stickers.
It's so
This
cute.
is a caterpillar.
Oh,
it's so cute.
I like it.
Flower.
Nice.
Mushroom.
Oh my gosh, that's so adorable.
I know. My mind was blown when I looked around and I saw that I was literally creating stickers.
It's your personality.
And you know what? I think another thing, being a designer and working for corporate, like you're told to create, like they give you what they want and you have to like cater to that. So after a while you completely forget like who you are, like, and what you can create. You're just like doing what you think you should do. And that I think is just like another big transition, and things that it takes time to, like, you know.
That's 100% true, because I feel like, you know, coming out of this past pandemic, like not working at the job I was since March of last year, it's been a process, kind of trying to not reinvent, but like establish my style, not necessarily who I am, but like how I like putting my energy into things and making that visual, you know. It's been a weird process, but you know, everything is process, you know.
Everything's a process, and it sucks when you're in the process sometimes, because it's so heavy sometimes, and it sucks. Like, it's just so terrible that you just forget what the purpose of the journey is about, and you forget that you're that person meditating.
Very true.
You know, this is all simulation.
You're like, just that person meditating.
Yeah, it's just like we're all just like evolve, like trying to learn experience. Yeah, and it's also very exciting times, because I think that we are truly awakening to our full potential.
It's the age of Aquarius.
Age of Aquarius. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And I want to say thank you so very much for being on the podcast. It's been a pleasure, and it's been amazing reconnecting with you. It's been really good.
Yeah, so me too. Same. And I can't thank you enough, Pam. You're just such an important person that had came to my life, and yeah, and I just love that you're doing this. This is so your jam, and likewise. I can't wait to see how this can vibrate out to the world.
Yes. Trust me, it's gonna be amazing.
Yes, totally amazing.
So everyone that's watching, if you would also like your own version of yarn stickers, Soo Jae has a business called @SoojxJef on Instagram. I'll pop it into the description. And Soo Jae and Jeff make sustainable, positive energy objects, sustainable objects that they give. Yeah. They give off fun vibration, and just you can see the happiness in the craft. You can see it, and this is what she creates. So go ahead and check that out, and thank you again. Thank you.
I miss you.
Chatting. Oh, I miss you too. Big hug. All right.